across commercial and industrial, institutional, and residential markets. We really do a little bit of everything. So we help real estate professionals identify and act on opportunities to become accomplished. We partner with our clients to leverage industry change and tackle site challenges, resulting in successful land development projects that grow their business and transform the community. What makes us a little bit more unique is our purpose, and that is we empower the ambitious to become the accomplished, and our culture. So we have something called the Bohler Way that just describes the way that we want our employees to act, and we want to bring to our clients just our values and the actions that we take to try to be our best. So specifically more about the stormwater maintenance program that we have. So we provide our clients who participate in this, mostly it's quick checks. So we perform a site visit 2 times a year where we'll look at the stormwater maintenance facilities, make sure that everything's running smoothly. And if there's any recommendations that we have to maintain those facilities, we'll provide a report and just make sure that everything's functioning so there's no issues down the road. So we do that 2 times a year to all the quick checks in New Jersey, some in New York, mostly with gas, a few without. And then we give the feedback back to Quick Check or any other clients based on our observations. And then, so we conduct the instructions, and then Hilland Construction Services conducts the maintenance based on what we recommend. Then we're just going to go into some common recommendations of things that we see and what those look like.
Courtney, I'll start taking those away.
Yeah. So these are some common recommendations, like Veronica said, that we see when we go out on our sites, mostly like all across the state, and in New York, the recommendations tend to be pretty similar between the sites. So the first one being identify any standing water on the site and investigate the cause if it has or has not rained recently. So this is just something to make sure that the basins, the inlets, all the infrastructure that's put in upon installation is functioning correctly. If there's standing water and it hasn't just rained within the past 72 hours, then that could mean that there is a clog downstream, and that needs to be repaired in order for the drainage to function properly. Another recommendation is to remove sediment, debris, and trash from inlets and outlet structures. So on the slide, we have 2 pictures of inlet structures that have debris, so like garbage, leaves, vegetation, things that just get washed into the inlets from the parking lots or the landscape areas. And we also have an outlet structure that shows some grass and leaves and things that get caught in the outlet structure upon rain events. Another recommendation that we usually provide is to remove debris, sediment, trash, and excess vegetation from the basins. So you can see in this basin, there's a lot of overgrown plants and weeds, and it prohibits the basin from functioning as it should. If it's an infiltration basin and it looks like this, the water can't permeate through the soil like it needs to, and then the site isn't really functioning or meeting the requirements that it was designed to. Regrade any pavement or landscaped areas that are ponding. So as you can see in these pictures, there's puddles throughout the pavement, and it looks like relatively new asphalt, but this is something that we would want to regrade to avoid puddling. Otherwise, the water just sits and it doesn't go to the inlets like it should. Reset riprap. So in these photos, the riprap is the stones that are different sizes that you can see either in the landscaped areas or where the standing water is in front of the head wall or in front of the flared end section where there's a lot of garbage. So reset riprap means we want to replace the riprap per initial design and make sure that it's functioning as it should to prevent any erosion and any garbage and vegetation from getting into the stormwater structures that have been put down on site. Repair broken outlet structures and inlets. So on this slide, we have 2 different broken type B inlets, which are along the curb, and then 1 broken type E inlet. It looks like the grate kind of just fell inside the inlet. So not only does this prevent the inlet from functioning as it should and affect the stormwater system as a whole, but They can also be safety concerns that we need to address in order to keep the site functioning and keep everyone safe. And replace sand bottom and infiltration basins every 5 years. So the picture all the way to the right, you can see the sand more clearly, but you can see that vegetation is growing through the sand in all 3 pictures, and it's just eroded as a whole and probably not functioning as it's supposed to. So it might not be meeting the requirements that it was designed to meet in the state.
Cool. So, so just moving along, reseeding bio retention basins and detention basins as needed to ensure that the vegetation cover at the bottom or the basin bottom is sufficient to help ensure the basin's functioning as designed. So here are a couple pictures of eroded areas of the basin. Like to the right around the outlet structure, you can see the sediment kind of started to settle around it, and that's creating a hole within the basin, and the basin bottom is not set at the specified design area. And then also for like detention basins where we have a impermeable liner at the bottom, the eroded sides of the basin can expose that liner, and can, when there's maintenance being done to the basin and that liner is exposed, whether they're doing a landscaping maintenance, that liner can be damaged. Therefore, the liner won't be as impermeable as it was intended. Also, basin accesses, these tend to erode. And the purpose of these accesses, they're made to be stabilized. So any sort of landscaping equipment can be brought in and out of the basin with ease to ensure able access to the area so they can maintain it for vegetation and erosion issues like as below. So you can see the GeoWeb paver area being exposed in the eroded access. And this can be an issue because when that gets exposed, that can be an issue for when they're trying to maintain it, doing any sort of landscaping. Lawnmowers can hit that, break it, and that kind of stuff. Also, snout units within inlet areas. So these are used as a means to capture any garbage within the inlets, and they're initially designed to be put in there for a reason, and for this reason specifically, to catch those sort of things in any of those high pollutant areas where more trash could be susceptible to entering the inlet. It's another means of capturing that stuff and it not heading downstream. So just ensuring that all those are being installed. We've had instances where some of them haven't been installed as designed, so making sure that those units are being utilized properly. And installing trash racks on outlet structures, there's a purpose for trash racks. This is a means to catch any sort of sediment, debris, or trash coming downstream towards the outlet structure. And this could cause the basin to back up, downstream pipe to get clogged, and causing your basin to flood and not function as initially intended. So it's crucial that these need to be installed as designed to ensure these issues don't occur. And there have been instances where they haven't been installed, which caused the basin functionality to be compromised. So other things, broken roof drains. So these roof drains are what's routing water from the roof into the stormwater system and directed out towards our discharge point. So having these roof leaders or roof drains, downspouts being broken or missing, that water is not being routed properly, and it's completely changing the drainage pattern of the site, which could cause potential issues down the road. Move along. Performing maintenance on underground basins. Even though some of these basins are out of sight and maybe out of mind, they do still need to be maintained. So just ensuring that those areas are being called out specifically for general maintenance and making sure that no sediment debris are getting caught in those areas and they're continuously being upkept, and making sure the functionality is proper. So then just going through some template recommendations for Hamilton Township. So with our program, we like to include weather data from 3 days prior to the day of inspection. This is a great way for you to see if there was like rain prior to the inspection visit. So say on inspection day, the inspector went out on site and saw standing water within the basin. Knowing what the previous weather data was before that and seeing if there was rain, that may be able, the inspector may be able to deem that the standing water can be in there because it rained prior and that the system has been designed to drain within 72 hours. So that's why we do the 3 days prior. Another thing, including some photo location exhibits and recommendation exhibits, showing the specific locations at which pictures were taken, also showing the specific location of the BMP that we're actually calling out for maintenance. So including these plans with these locations highlighted on the plans is a good means to kind of show Hillen Construction Services, the actual location of where the maintenance needs to be conducted. So it helps alleviate any questions, problems, misinterpretation of where maintenance is needed. So those are a couple of our things that we see on site when we're doing our inspections and kind of a breakdown of the program that we run for Quick Check throughout the state of New Jersey and New York. So if you have any questions or would like to contact us, feel free to scan the QR code and that will bring you to Tunto Lamb's business card, and that'll highlight all the contact info you need to reach out to us. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Like you must have done a good job. There's no questions.
I guess so.
Oh, good stuff.
Will you be sending out a packet so that way, I can relay that information to my boss a little more because he's unable to watch the video and be a part of it today.
I will make available on our website, a township website, the presentations that happen throughout the week. And once sometime next week, I'll give an email out to everyone again. So you have the direct link to the website and you have access to each and every one of them. For anyone that couldn't make it, you can relay it to them. And as always, I'm always available by email or phone. I'm sure everyone has my contact information. If not, I'll throw my email in the chat.
Yeah, we'll actually drop our emails in the chat too, so you guys can reach out to us with any specific questions on the presentation, or if you would like more info on what we presented to you.
And the whole purpose of these presentations is to try to get the private basin owners to understand why we're doing what we're doing. It's not just because one day we woke up and said, this is what we want to do. A lot of it's coming down from the DEP and the MS4 permit that we have to apply for every year. And this is just one of the many things we need to take care of as we go along with the MS4 permit. And definitely appreciate all the help and help and assistance from the engineers who submit the reports, and to the basin owners who maintain their basins the way they should be. Other than that, I don't have much more to add. If anyone else has anything to say, now's the time.
Yeah, again, thank you everybody for having us. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. With that, I'm just going to sign off. Everyone have a good afternoon.
Yeah, you as well.
Have a good one.
Have a good one, guys. Bye.